When the promised Messiah finally arrived in Judea, the logical expectation was a celebration led by the local religious experts. The Jewish priests held the ancient prophecies and the theological training required to recognize the event the moment it occurred. Instead, the arrival went unnoticed by the temple hierarchy. Their attention was occupied by maintaining their own status and the internal politics of Jerusalem. This focus on their own positions left them entirely ignorant of the birth taking place just a few miles away. Because the religious establishment was looking elsewhere, the announcement bypassed the capital entirely. Angels appeared to shepherds in the open fields, and the child's identity was confirmed at the temple by Simeon and Anna, individuals living on the margins of the religious power structure. The people officially tasked with guarding the prophecy were not there to witness its fulfillment. The most significant announcement in Judean history moved away from the polished halls of the priesthood and into the hands of those at the absolute fringes of society. While local experts remained unaware, scholars far to the east were paying close attention. Although the Jews dismissed these men as heathens, they were diligent students who sought to understand the will of God through the world around them. These philosophers were not looking at idols, they were looking at the stars. They spent their lives mapping the movements of the heavenly bodies, believing that the order and march of the nightly sky revealed the handiwork of a creator. On the night of the birth, these men witnessed a surge of light outshining surrounding stars, the glory of the angel host appearing to the shepherds. As that intense light faded away, it revealed what appeared to be a brand new star standing in the heavens. Across the continent, these philosophers were connecting dots that the religious elite in Jerusalem hadn't even begun to look for. They were mapping a royal arrival that the locals weren't even watching. The scholars didn't rely on observation alone. They took this new astronomical data and began testing it against ancient Hebrew prophecies, looking for a link between the movement of the sky and the history of Israel. They identified a specific prediction in the book of Numbers. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. They concluded that the light they were seeing was the signal that this king had finally arrived. To act on this conclusion, they had to leave their homes for a grueling trek across the Judean wilderness. This was not a short journey. It was a massive physical commitment to follow the evidence toward its source. The star guided them deep into Judea, but as they neared Jerusalem, the light failed. The guiding star grew dim and disappeared from view, leaving them at the gates of the capital without their primary signal. True discovery requires movement, even when the evidence is no longer visible. With the star gone, the men had to rely on their own initiative and the strength of their previous research to continue the search on foot. The wise men entered Jerusalem expecting the Jewish leaders to be the experts on their own king. They walked through the city gates asking for directions, certain that the birthplace of the one they had come to worship would be common knowledge. Instead of celebration, their questions triggered a political crisis. King Herod was unsettled by the news of a rival king of the Jews, and he began to quietly investigate how he might protect his own throne through violence. Herod summoned the chief priests, who were able to quote the prophecy of Micah from memory: the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. Despite knowing the exact town, these priests remained in Jerusalem, making no effort to walk the 5 miles to see if the prophecy had been fulfilled. The philosophers left the city and its disinterested leaders behind. As they moved toward Bethlehem, the star they had seen in the east suddenly reappeared, leading them directly to the house where the child lived. The priests had the scrolls and the physical proximity, yet they remained in their palaces. The travelers had only a fading light and a distant prophecy, yet they were the ones on the road. Truth was moving toward those who were willing to move toward it. The star finally stood still over a simple house. When these scholars entered, they fell to the floor in an act of total worship. They presented their most valuable materials, refined gold and the aromatic tree resins of frankincense and myrrh. Each gift spoke to this child's future. Gold was a tribute to a king. Frankincense signaled his divinity. and myrrh pointed toward a sacrifice yet to come. The end point of this long intellectual and physical journey was not a debate or a discovery, but an act of complete personal sacrifice. This example challenges the way we view our own resources. While we often give generously to our friends, we frequently have nothing left for the Creator who provided every blessing we own. This creates a practical problem for the modern day. We cannot walk into a house in Bethlehem to present a gift to an infant king. Presenting a gift today means looking toward the people Christ died to save. Resources of time, money, and affection find their way to the king when they are used to comfort the poor or to share the story of the one who came for them. When we sacrifice what we have to help those in need, we are continuing the journey of the wise men. We are delivering our own modern offerings of gold,
Brothers and sisters, please do a small favor. Make sure to like the video and write a lovely comment. Keep Sujan alive.